Hello there, Internet. My name is Mogwai, and ahead of us lies yet another brilliant day in the arena. I just gotta say, man, deck building in Magic the Gathering ain't easy. This last weekend, for those of you who watched the stream, have seen me going through a bit of a rough patch, trying to make new ideas work. I know, we've been doing pretty damn good so far since we started uploading MTG again on the channel. I'm very, very happy with the quality of the decks that I've been sharing, and, the consistency of it all and everything. Like I think we're doing good, but I also want to clarify that it may seem like I just shit these decks, but I don't. I spent a lot of time. Some are easier to optimize. Others take quite a bit. And lately, I've been exploring into designing like pseudo artifact decks. And that's something that I've never been particularly great at, so it's something that I have to just like invest more time into until like I'm happy with the kind of stuff that I'm putting out in that regard. And the reason why I'm going on this tangent is because I appreciate the support on the videos, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and I really want to make a mark in this game on YouTube. And I believe now that we have less than a month for the next expansion coming up, that's a good opportunity to get my channel out there. And yeah, I'm putting in the work, man. I'm trying to give you guys inspiring decks, cool ideas, generally built around cards that most people do not play. That is what this channel is about. And today, this whole speech leads to a deck that I feel is a testament of what I'm capable of, basically, as a deck builder. Today's deck is a Naya combo deck, actually, built around GHIRED, the Mirror of the Wilds. I didn't know this card existed. I was just hovering over my collection, trying to find inspiration, and then all of a sudden, like, I kind of like accidentally ended up in like the 3 color combinations, and I saw this card, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, it looks cool. I see the boars. And there's something about boars and MTG with me, like those of you who've been watching me for a while know that I made the Pig God Reanimator deck back in the day. That was actually one of my best videos a few years back. And, it's kind of, it gives me the vibe of that, right? Like this, whenever I see boars in a Magic card, I can expect some wacky shit to be tied to it. And, GHIRED did not disappoint in that regard. GHIRED is a 3-mana Naya legendary human shaman with a 3/3 stat line and haste. An ability that says non-token creatures you control have, and then in parentheses, so basically he gives every other non-token creature and himself this ability, in case you're wondering. Create a token that's a copy of target token you control that entered the battlefield this turn. This is a very specific, very unique ability in Standard that as soon as I saw it, my mouth was watering, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta make something dope with this. But man, was it a challenge. Figuring this card out was definitely a challenge, but I think I got something pretty cool to share here. So what this means is that every single one of your non-token creatures have the ability to tap and target a token that entered the battlefield that turn and create a copy of it. So we're building our deck around this card, and we have a deck that is capable of tremendous burst that the opponent just will not see coming, and it can be enabled for as cheap as 5 mana. So let me elaborate on this a little bit. How do we take advantage of GHIRED? How do we turn GHIRED's ability into... There's several ways. Because keep in mind that the tokens are not limited to like creatures. It can be any sort of token. So I'm pretty sure like deck building with GHIRED offers more possibilities than this. But this is my attempt at a GHIRED like Naya combo deck. And the reason, we go Naya because those are the colors for GHIRED. And we're taking... if you see my distributions, we have more of a prevalence of red cards, right? Because the core of this deck, the other win condition, the two card combo essentially that will win us games is GHIRED alongside Magda, the Hornmaster. Seems like this card is like a dragon, but no, it's a dwarf. You see here, it's a dwarf. She's really happy. He's like drinking some beer there or something, some ale, on top of a scorpion dragon, because that's what Magda do. Magda just recruits them. These scorpion dragons come to her aid, and they have, as you guys can see here, flying and haste and a 4/4 stat line. That's pretty good. That's a good token to duplicate, right? How do we do this? Well, whenever you commit a crime, Magda creates a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then you sacrifice 3 treasures and create a 4/4 red scorpion dragon creature token with flying and haste. You can activate this only as a sorcery. The objective of this deck is to set up a situation where we have 3 treasures. We have to have 3 treasures on the board. Then we can develop Magda, or if Magda's already on the board. We can develop GHIRED, unless GHIRED is already on the board. You know, like it depends on the situation, depends on the matchup. You may want to be holding these pieces into your hand for that turn specifically or not. It depends, right? But generally, what matters is you have these 2 cards on the board. What you do is you utilize Magda's ability, you sack 3 treasures, and you create a dragon token, right? And then Magda and every other creature, including GHIRED, who has haste. That's why you want to be preserving GHIRED for like the last piece, because when you play GHIRED, you can tap him the same turn as well, and that's really important. All of our creatures are capable of targeting these dragons that we just generated, and we create copies of it. And keep in mind, these dragons have flying and haste. So with the proper setup, we can actually one-shot the opponent. The more creatures we have on the board to tap, the better. We can use even stuff like Novice Inspector to tap and create another dragon, and then we just burst on the opponent. But wait, there's more! This combo can go absolutely bananas if we add Eartha Joe, Frontier Mentor, into the mix. A Boros 4-drop with a 2/4 stat line, legendary creature, Core Advisor, that has an ability that says, when Eartha enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 mercenary token. And then whenever you activate an ability that targets a creature or player, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. In case you're wondering, if we have Eartha on the board and we develop GHIRED and then we trigger Magda, then whenever we target one of these 4/4 dragons with the abilities that GHIRED is giving every creature, we will be able to trigger that ability twice, which means every creature will allow you to generate 2 4/4 scorpion dragon tokens with flying and haste. And that's when shit just goes absolutely bananas. This sort of setup, this sort of like peak, combo peak, is very uncommon, though. Keep that in mind. A lot of times you develop Eartha and she just gets answered because people are afraid of her. Rightfully so. So keep that in mind. Like, this is like one in a full moon type of thing. But it's very nice for combo decks or, you know, synergies in general to have this like really high ceiling they can reach. Even if they don't reach that most of the time, it's nice, you know. It's like if you're in an anime and all of a sudden like this is my most powerful combo has been enabled. You know, like it's a weird analogy, but you know, bear with me. So the deck is designed to enable this to happen. We have a full set of Generous Plunder. Generous Plunder at the beginning of the upkeep will create a treasure token, and then by doing so, we'll target the opponent, creating a tapped treasure token for them. Generous Plunder goes really well with Magda because Generous Plunder triggers a crime when he does this because he is targeting the opponent, which will trigger Magda. So at the beginning of the upkeep, if both these creatures are on the board, then you're going to be generating 2 treasure tokens, which gets you really close to that 3 that you need, right? We have Kellen as another 2-drop, the Daring Traveler. Kellen is very nice at finding our key 3 value creatures because the 2 most important cards in our deck in Magda and GHIRED are 3 cost or less. Then we can potentially draw them as we attack with Kellen, as we can also fix the top of our deck to make sure that we draw what we need to draw. We have Novice Inspector, generates as a clue. In certain scenarios, we could potentially duplicate clues. If we play this on the same turn that we have GHIRED on the board, we can generate multiple clues and try to draw more through our deck if we're mixing some pieces and we can allow it tempo-wise. Helping Hand is there to resurrect a creature card with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard and bring it to the battlefield tapped. This allows us to, for 1 mana, bring back GHIRED from the graveyard or Magda. You know, 2 very, very vital pieces to our combo. They're going to be removed. They're going to be targeted by the opponent. These are very threatening creatures that even though the opponent doesn't understand what we're doing with them, they're definitely going to be like, if that stays on the board, that's bad. So they're going to kill it. So we need to be able to bring it back as well. And then a very key card in this deck is Breakout. Because we are fundamentally a combo deck and we really resort to these 2 cards in the end, we do want to be able to find them. Breakout is perfect for this as we get to look at the top 6 cards of our library. We choose a creature card. If the creature card is cost 3 or more, we put it into our hand. But if it's cost 2 or less, we get to put it onto the battlefield and give it haste. This is amazing with stuff like Generous Plunder, but also with Kellen, because we can attack immediately with Kellen and start drawing off of her potentially. Or him. Like, it just looks different to, like, Kellen the Kid. So is Kellen, like, a very common name in Magic or something? Because these characters they're definitely different. Or at least the art style is a bit different with their faces and stuff. So I don't know. I think this is a different Kellen than Kellen the Kid, but correct me if I'm wrong because they're both technically fairies. With Breakout, we can bring out Kellen and draw. We can bring out Generous Plunder and trigger the effect because whenever we're attacking, we're dealing damage equal to the number of artifacts that our opponents control, which is also nice to run alongside something like Get Lost because we can generate maps tokens for the opponent, which will enhance the damage Generous Plunder is doing. There are some cheeky lethals we can set up with Get Lost and Generous Plunder as well, especially in like more slower paced matchups, as you'll see in today's video. Lightning Helix, because we're playing best of one Magic. There's a lot of mono red, a lot of aggro running around in Magic. We have the ability to cast this reliably with our mana source, and thus we are able to deal 3 damage to anything and gain 3 life. This can also be used to deal damage directly to the opponent to finish them as well. This can also trigger a crime, which is really important with Magda, and I value 3 copies of Lightning Helix over 2 copies of Get Lost to be able to stay alive in those aggressive matchups where we find our pieces. As we got the Biscard, the only card that is rotating within this deck, replaceable, you know, it's just useful because it draws us cards and generates us treasure tokens, which is part of our win condition. But I think this card will be very easy to replace later down the line, though I have to think about what that would be. As another card that is similar to this that we run as a one-off is Demand Answers, because sometimes we can just sacrifice an artifact and draw 2 cards for just 2 mana, which is nice. And last but definitely not least, we got the Skitterbeam Battalion. This is a card, it's like an alternative win condition that comes into play a lot because we're generating a lot of treasures, and sometimes we just cannot get Magda to stick, or we just didn't, the combo we just cannot, it does not align for us. Our opponent is just very aggressive with the removal, and we just do not have the opening. But we built up a lot of treasures, and we can use them to summon a big boy Skitterbeam Battalion to push the last amount of damage that we need. These tokens that we generate can be potentially duplicated with GHIRED as well, so there is that synergy right there. There is a situation where we know we don't resort to Magda, but we have Earth to Joe, we have GHIRED on the board, we play Skitterbeam, and then we just generate two copies of each of these tokens with haste and just blow the opponent back, right? So it's a very nice, efficient alternate win condition that we have as a one-off in the deck, and you'll see put into play in today's video as well. And that's the deck list right there. A 12-minute deck tech, longer than usual. I had a bit of a speech at the beginning of the video, to be honest, and this is a deck that I put tremendous amount of thought into, so fuck it, man. It deserves a 12-minute deck tech. If you guys have any questions regarding the deck, let me know. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I put a lot of work into it, and it's a very, very satisfying deck, and I got some hype games for you guys today. So I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Magic the Gathering content. Hope you enjoyed today's games, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's shaman the ladder. That's what I got, okay? Sakuma. What are you bringing in, Sakuma? Okay, this is definitely a playable hand. We got some Novice Inspectors early on, and we have Kellen on curve. Kellen on curve is always a very neat thing to have. Lead off with the Inspiring Vantage, which gives us the white mana for pretty much most of our plays. We have our one basic land here as well. We see a tapped land with the Spare's Headquarters, so we can definitely expect some domain shenanigans. We're gonna develop Kellen. Kellen, whenever it attacks. Okay, that's a good draw right there. We're gonna go ahead and swing first, though. Try to get a clean hit with Kellen here. As we decline, we leave that land over there. We need lands. I'm gonna set up the Bristling Backwoods to get a source of green mana in there, and we're gonna call that a turn. We're gonna be using the clue here to cycle through our deck a little bit. We want to preserve this other Novice Inspector because we could potentially copy clues with it. As we see them discard the Herd Migration. And now they have a total of 2 islands where they're ready. We're going to go ahead and pop the clue at the end of the turn, though, to draw that card that we saw at the top of our deck. And as we draw into another one now, because we don't... This triggers crimes and this doesn't, we're probably going to be prioritizing the Inspired Vantage. GHIRED, Mirror of the Wilds, is likely to be countered here if we play it. It's an important component to our strategy, but at the same time, we do want to... Let's actually... let's develop him. We're definitely expecting a counter spell here, but it's important to get those cards out of them. We're gonna decline. We're gonna keep that there. We're gonna drop the Inspire Advantage. Then we're gonna swing again. We're gonna drop that to the graveyard. We would probably like to play Eartha Joe, even though they could board wipe us. But we have to get their counter spells out of them. And we also... We're in a situation where, like, you know, we can resort to the big score, but we can save it up a little bit. We're trying to essentially force plays out of them. Up the Beanstalk, still enabling a potential counterspell there. We are going to be swinging first. Kellen does actually draw us into a card. We're gonna drop the Copperline Gorge. Are we gonna go for the Eartha Joe now? I mean, they're still keeping a counterspell, so I'm gonna drop this. I'm going to develop the Novice Inspector. And I'm gonna call that a turn. This time not playing into their counterspell, developing a little bit more onto the board as they go for that. We are going to be resorting to the big score in response, but first of all, let's see what they have. Because we do see the card that they plot, Make Your Own Luck, allows them to essentially draw 3 cards, but one of them it becomes plotted. It's the Herd Migration. And now we're going to go for the big score. We're going to discard Kellen. We draw 2 cards. Okay. If all I need to do is draw into one of these lands and we're good. Or 6, 8, oh man, 8 mana. No, but we should be good. We should be good here. We don't need that much. We just need a little bit. Oh yeah. Ho 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 ho! All right, Karmoth. You'll be our second opponent. We got Kellen in our opener with some removal and card draw. Like, this hand it's missing like the key pieces for our combo, but it's one hell of an opener for everything else. I'm gonna lead off with I'm actually gonna preserve the Bristling Backwoods in my hand because it's a crime enabler. And I'm gonna go ahead and play Kellen, Daring Traveler. And they have a cut down. They always have a cut down. It's just the thing. We have the Lightning Helix and the Get Lost enabled here, so we can deal with most threats. But they seem to have a rather reactive hand. I'm going to lead off with Magda here. Because afterwards I'm going to be dropping the Creosote Heath before they remove her, and I get my... Okay, so now Magda is no longer a win condition. I was expecting removal, but not that kind of removal. That's really rough. That's super rough because she's actually a super important win condition, and she got answered like in the most brutal fashion. So now it's all about Eartha Joe, really. Okay. This person is really like making the right steps. I'm gonna play Eartha Joe. There's no way they can develop the Restless Cottage and get rid of her at the same time. She'll spread out a little bit between threats. If she goes down, though, I cannot bring her back. My resurrection is limited. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, no, I don't care about you. You're not gonna win that way. I'm gonna trigger Earth's effect, and I'm gonna be able to hit for 4 damage. Right back at you. I'm gonna drop the bristling backwoods, and I'm gonna call it a turn. I mean, now they can't really develop that. What the hell? Not what I was expecting. Do I just double up on get lost into this? This generous plunder is really heavy. Really heavy on them. You're dead. Tactical Kraken. That is an intimidating name. Really got to showcase the synergy between Get Lost and Generous Plunder. In a game that, honestly, like, my hopes were down when once Magda got answered. We're going second, so we do keep this hand. If we manage to draw into a second land, the Sundown Pass doesn't quite cut it. I'm gonna lead off with the Bristling Backwoods. Even though it triggers Magda, I do want to start with a Generous Plunder. Okay, Bushwhack allows them to search for a basic land. They search for a swamp. We're gonna go for the Inspiring Vantage, and we're gonna develop the Generous Plunder. This is an engine that will start generating us treasures. We need 3 treasures. We have the Magda and we have the GHIRED. They plot an Outcast with Trailblazer. Okay. We're gonna plunder away. We're gonna swing. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna develop Magda, but I'm gonna make use of my treasure here because I can go for the Get Lost and trigger her again. They plot again. And they develop the Azusa's Mini Journeys, which allows them to play another land here. Hopefully they don't have a cut down. Oh, they just developed that. Okay. We don't have a reason to go for Get Lost, except for the fact that we give them even more treasures. I think this may... Because then at the beginning of my turn, I'm going to generate 2 of them. I'm going to be able to play you. I'm going to sack you. I'm going to tap you and you for 4 and 4. I think this makes sense. Wait. Whenever... targeting opponents. Anything they control, yes. We go Get Lost, we trigger Magda, and we give them 2 treasure tokens. That's why we do this. For the Generous Plunder, And now we have 3 treasures, baby. And you know what that means? GHIRED! Mirror of the Wilds! We're gonna trigger Magda's ability. We're gonna convert these 3 treasures into dragon. We then tap and make a copy of dragon. We tap again, make another copy of dragon. GG no read. Booyah! Chino Ale. I think this person is actually Spanish. Because Ale, Alejandro. Yeah. I mean, we literally have all the pieces here. It's just a matter of getting in a position where we can use them. Now, due to the nature, like, you would think that you just lead off with the, Nah, we should. Let's lead off with the Heath. Let's not get greedy with Magda. We'll find other deserts. Exactly. We see 2 black sources of mana. We can definitely expect some sort of removal here. So I'm gonna lead off with Kellen, the Daring Traveler. Kellen is a great bait for like early removal. And now I'm gonna drop Magda. I'm gonna play the Bristling Backwoods, which will trigger her immediately, committing a crime. The reason why I'm prioritizing Magda is because Magda is a great way for me to like guarantee that I get a treasure on. The Generous Plunder can be answered. They go for a Bushwhack. They fish for another card. I'm smelling another source of removal here. There it is. But now is the good chance. I'm going to preserve this breakout for later. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to choose human. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up. Generous Plunder and Kellen. 2 threats on the board. 2 threats gone. Our opponent is all about that removal. Fuck. Okay. We're quite halted here. I feel like I need to apply some pressure. I need to develop GHIRED so I can curve into Eartha. And I can generate many little dudes. They've had so much removal this game that I would assume they're eventually going to run out of it. The Roman Throne, Phyrexian, okay. We're going to use GHIRED's ability alongside Eartha to develop multiple spawns of this. Try to spread out a little bit, and hopefully we stop drawing lands. At this point, we really got to stop drawing lands. They've had a lot of removal, though. Like that back-to-back Lockwing Scorn. That's a fine target. I don't know why, but in today's session, like, I'm just running into the end. A lot. Oh, come on, man. Come on. We got a bit flooded, unfortunately. We run 24 lands, but yeah, we drew way too many of them. I'm going to hold back. It looks like they're going to be able to develop the Virtue of Persistence without much of a worry in the world. We don't even have to get lost to get rid of it. Unfortunate. I want to at least bluff that I have something. Attacking with GHIRED there was a mistake, by the way. Okay. We got completely Shut down. My God. Alright, stick and stone. Will you break my bones? We have all the components here. But, you know, just having the components is not enough. Like, we need to sequence things right. We need to preserve GHIRED for the right moment. And our first objective is quite simply to plunder. I would enjoy drawing into like a non-tap land here. I mean, that's one of the risks. Sometimes we're going to overdraw them early. But never. Punished. Plunder. Generous plunder as they go for the Dread Whispers. They develop the Mosswood Dread Knight. We take action with a generous plunder. Get a treasure and generate one for us. I'm going to develop the Magda. I could develop Magda the Horde Master, but I could also just preserve her in my hand. And instead, yeah, I'm going to swing with the Menace, and I'm going to develop another Generous Plunder. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Bristling Backwoods, because we have a Sundown Pass here. They are playing they're playing for value. They're playing for value, but okay, they got rid of Magda. I thought she would be more vulnerable on the board. That sucks. That's a hit. That's a bit of a brutal hit right there. And then they have a cut down as well, I assume. Okay, they just get rid of my Lightning Helix. We proc again twice. And, you know, game plans change. We just do not have enough, like... If I attack with these two, these are 4/4. These are dealing 4 damage each. So that's a total of 8 damage. I need 5 damage. 2, 2, 2. They're left at 1 damage if I do this, but then I kill them with that. Actually, we have lethal. We're gonna develop the Skitter Beam Battalion. Sack all the treasures. Full swing, baby. I gotta stop saying baby. I say it a lot. I know. Drop them down to 1. And a little bit of a desert to end it all. We got other ways to win. All right. 3 tap lands again. The Skitterbeam Battalion, which just won as a game. In our opener, though, which is now where we like him, but there's no way we don't keep this. We have an early curve. We have the Generous Plunder. We're going to lead off with the Bristling Backwoods, considering we have a breakout in hand. This land covers both colors for this, which makes any other untapped land that I draw a way to enable it. But we are going to be developing the Generous Plunder first. With the Menace, man. The Menace on this thing. He doesn't seem like much at first. He's just a 2/2. Easy to remove, but oh boy, if he sticks, let him stick. Please. Thank you. I'm gonna break out. Magda is very neat, but at this stage of the game, I'd rather take Kellen, because Kellen is one of the reasons why we play Breakout here. Giving Kellen haste is amazing. Can allow us to draw other pieces, basically. Control what we pick up from the top of our deck if there's something that we're not really looking forward to. Get lost. All right. Look at that. Look, would you look at that? I'm gonna preserve that treasure. We have these maps, but we don't need to rush things. We want to be building up these treasures. A braided net. Okay, that's the game we're playing, huh? All right. I like that Cavern of Souls in there. Let's get that out of the way. Let's let them tap that. Now we develop the Generous Plunder. We pick up a land there. I want to get this Copperline Gorge in. I want to get these tap lands right now that, you know, I could pop this map. But I can always pop it next turn when I'm threatening an attack with Kellen. They're going to go for the Elegant Parlor and Surveil. They have 2 sources of white, 1 source of blue, and 1 source of red enabled right now, plus the treasure. 4 cards in hand. We need to factor in stuff like board wipes. But there's a Simulacrum Synthesizer. There's their engine. Generous Plunder can be insane here. Like, I think I should be buffing Kellen, because if they don't stop the Generous Plunder, like, it's dealing a lot of damage to them. Look at me, so generous. 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the ability to play this for 5. We don't quite have the damage yet, though. What should we do first? We should probably try to break out first. We obviously take GHIRED. We could just swing with everything. Puts us as 5, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Oh no, I meant to decline that. Oh fuck. I derped. I meant the opposite thing. Oh, that may have cost me there. I get, like, it's confusing because, like, decline, take out, like, I meant decline the card, but, you know, I derped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I play this and I attack with 2, like, they tap 2, they tap the other one, I get 4 damage in, which is just not enough. Crap, man. Ah, this draw was like, I think I may lose the game because of this misclick. I would have top decked this. Would have had options, man. They may have made a huge mistake, though. If I drop him down to 7... They're fucked. They just they just left themselves wide open. They went for a super greedy play. They thought they were that swing. Okay, so I made a big misplay. It was more of a misclick. That was definitely like it's worth to lose a game over it. But them exiling this makes them lose to a desert. Oh my god. All right, Jacko. People are just not respecting our burst potential. We have to lead off with the Sundown Pass because we have no guaranteed third land here. So we're gonna drop it down now. So no matter what, we can develop Kellen, the daring traveler, on curve. Hope that he isn't immediately removed. Hopeless Nightmare is fine. We discard one Eartha Joe. Another tapped land, another shadowy backstreet. Okay. A tapped land, like a desert here would be perfect. Let's attack with Kellen first, see what's on top of our deck. We decline because we want to keep that there. I just have to really make sure I'm thinking about my decisions there. Let's develop Magda, the Horde Master, just to be able to keep applying pressure on curve. Another Hopeless Nightmare. What will we discard? I'm gonna get rid of these Eartha Joes. Even though they could, honestly, they could be really good. Maybe discarding the big score is better, but I kind of need treasures to do what I want to do. And they exile her, okay. They do respect the Magda. I'm gonna try to break out. We find another Magda in there. We find another Generous Plunder as well. And we find another Magda, which is great. We just need to get the treasures in. I'm gonna sack the Magda. Kellen is providing me with value. Kellen is actually very, very important here. I could develop GHIRED, Mirror of the Wilds, just to keep applying pressure, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna send that to the bottom. Develop the Copperline Gorge. And now we sack Kellen, we keep GHIRED. I'm gonna keep GHIRED, Mirror of the Wilds untapped. Take that attack. And now I'm gonna go for the big score. Now that I know what their last card is, I'm gonna discard the brush lands, draw 2, and then I'm going to tap to create another one. And I have to surprise them. They're top decking, so I have to okay. Yes, swing. Yes, please swing. They're not ready for this. I needed one more land. I needed one more land so I could pull this off in the same turn. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Magda the Horde Master! GHIRED Mirror of the Wilds! Magda's ability triggers. We sack 3 treasures. And then... Scorpion Dragon Factory, let's go! Let's go! Walk right into it, boy! Oh!